Someone that buys a single family home to live in, is that considered an investment?
No, it's a liability. I have a $3 million house. I pay $1,000 a month for my landscaping. I pay a pretty heavy electric bill. I pay for pest control. I pay when things break. I have to decorate it for the holidays. I spend thousands of dollars to get my outdoor and everything going. And I would not have any of those expenses if I was renting an apartment, right? It'd be part of my rent, which would be, I don't know, I mean, it might be $10,000, but that's what my mortgage is anyway. I got to spend a lot more money for my insurance for my house. I wouldn't have if I just had renter's coverage. I mean, the bigger the value, right? You're going to pay more. So I pay quite a bit for my monthly home insurance, but I only have renter's insurance if I live in an apartment. If something breaks, I just pick up the phone and I call somebody. So your home is four walls and a roof, no matter how you do it, just like a car, right? They're all going to get you from point A to point Z. It's how you want to ride. Now, I have a nice car. Does it cost me insurance? Yeah, but I like how I feel in that car. It's a reminder. I've got a G-Wagon, I've got a Bentley. My G-Wagon is my daily. My Bentley is my date night. My Bentley's paid off for 3 years already. I bought it when I got divorced in 2018, and I've had it since, and I've paid it off. I could sell it. I don't want to. I like it. I like how I feel under 700 horse with the convertible down. My daily driver is a G-Wagon. Does that cost me more in Mercedes to get it? Yes, it does. But that's part of owning a Mercedes. I feel good when I'm driving it. It's an accomplishment reminder. Just like my houses, do I need 7,000 square feet? No, I don't. It's just me. And when my boys come see me, every other weekend or when they come drop by, because my boys are already they're upper teens already. But I choose to do that. So everything's a choice. It's a liability that I'm willing to take. But I know that my ego costs me money. Grant talks about like a $300,000 watch. This is a nice Panerai that I got for myself in Christmas. I have Rolexes. I didn't want to wear it. I have a Panerai that cost me, I think I paid 17. But it's what I wanted to remember of what I went through in 2023 of all the bullshit with Jerome Powell and rate hikes and what have you. Right? So it's an ego trip, but can you afford the ego trip? If I was starting out today, I would only rent. It makes no sense to put money in a house. I put money into a rental house that somebody else is paying for. Someone else is paying the insurance. Someone else is paying for the landscaping. Someone else is paying for all the other costs associated with living in that house. And I would live in an apartment. Now, maybe you live in a duplex or a fourplex. That's kind of the same thing. You live in one piece of it. Somebody else pays the other expenses. I know at some point when my kid moves out of his dorm, I'll probably buy him a rent house because I know he'll have roommates and they'll cover the mortgage. Why am I going to go put an apartment? When his roommates will cover it. Actually, his roommates' parents will cover it. So it just depends on your financial literacy and your emotional maturity on how you look at money. Does my house cost me more than what it would at a penthouse on the 35th floor like I used to? Yes, it does. But at my level, it's nice to have people come over to my 7,000 square foot house. And this is not bragging. That's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to tell you that at this point in my career at nearly 50 years old, there are things that I want to celebrate. I want to come home and not have to smell weed. I want to come home and not have to hear neighbors of playing loud music or somebody banging in the next apartment. I don't want to hear that. I want to come home in my own quiet space. I want to go outside in my pool, which is blue and quiet, and I just want to sit there. If I want to invite a friend over, I'll invite a friend over. But those are choices that I've earned. In my early 20s, I haven't earned that yet. I shouldn't be going out drinking and spending $200 on the weekend at a bar. I haven't earned to do that. Last night I had a date and I had spent quite a bit of money at Nobu, but I had a wonderful date. It was fun, but I should not be doing that in my early 20s. I should be saving that and getting ready for an apartment investment. Because your 20s is for grinding. Girls and all that shit will be there later on in life. And guess what? Let me tell you a little secret. You get better looking, the more successful you are. You get in your 30s and your 40s and you are self-sustaining, you're a healthy man, You don't need any help. You're not living with mom and dad. Your kids are a representation of who you are, and they're getting into like the top colleges, and they know their Bible left and right. That's my calling card, right? But in my 20s, I got to be grinding. So I wish I had me to tell me this in my 20s. I would never have thrown out that that Rich Dad Poor Dad book out of college. I would have said, dummy, listen to this and let me explain it to you. Because my kids have heard the Rich Dad Poor Dad book a couple of times in the car on road trips, right? That's my role. That's what I should have been. That's what I wish somebody had done for me. But, my dad couldn't do that. He was working all the time, and he was fast food, and he knew it. He just knew, I don't want you doing what I'm doing. I want you to go to school because you're better than me. Go do something better. And that's what I try to teach my kids. So, I think that's it's a great, I know I went on a couple of different tangents on your question, but man, no, I don't think it's a asset at all. I think it's a liability. But later in life, if you're hosting parties and you got networking functions and people are handing you $100,000 checks, they don't want to do it in your apartment, no matter how nice the penthouse is. They want to do it where they know they can find you at XYZ address in a prestigious neighborhood, and they can drop by any time and they see how you're living. I know my first check, I could not just give the guy the money. I went to his house. My partner is who it was. Gave him $200,000 to invest in that first deal. And there was no way I was just going to wire it in. I don't know you. You're from London. Are you going to move back? Going to take off my money? I've never done a real estate deal. I drove to his house. I went to the county records, make sure that he owned the house. Yeah, I wanted to know, who are you? Are you this fake Lambo guy, or do you actually own this mansion? And that's how it was. And I think when you get to that level, there's a certain expectation. And so for me, that's how I see it. My house is an asset because of what it does for me mentally and what it does for me in terms of networking. When who's come over? I've had a few people come over, when they see my house, you got to be representative of it.
I love that.
I agree. Yeah, we ask people that a lot, and there's some mixed opinions on that, but and I think it's when you've gotten to a point where it makes a lot of sense, where it makes sense, and you can have some other benefits that, like, wealth isn't always or assets isn't always. I think about wealth as owning income producing assets, but again, part of this show is about your health and your happiness too. I view health as an asset. I try to work out most mornings, try to eat right and get good sleep and track that stuff so that, and I view that as an asset, even though it doesn't show up on the balance sheet or my personal financial statement. What stuff do you do for a health related causes or your happiness that you view or feel like helps build your business? What
I do, look, I think as I gotten older, health and fitness is very important. I definitely try to go to the gym 3 times a week. I wish I could do more. I need to do more. I think people that look healthy are going to do better financially. I think you feel better about yourself. I think it's all about discipline. I think the healthier you look, the more I think stable your life is. Because I've been in points in my life in my 40s before my divorce where I was like, man, I would wake up at 5 o'clock. I'm at the gym at 6:30. I've eaten my breakfast. I shower. I go do cardio, and I'm out to work. And by 8:39, I'm there, and I've already done 2-3 hours of work, and my head's working. I think that's why a lot of reason why people do these cold plunges, right? Because it's supposed to give you this amazing high that lasts all day long. I have not done a cold plunge. It's not true. I went out to a resort and I did it for a very quick amount, like 30 seconds. I couldn't really hack it. But I can see how people are doing it every day, and they need that to wake up. And if it can wake you up and get your brain stimulated, that's great. In my higher end, I used to do Snapchat a lot, and I'd be walking outside doing cardio around my neighborhood, and I'd be doing private video Snapchats to my team only, sharing what's going on in my head so they can brain share. So I definitely think that fitness is a big piece of somebody's health. I think, and I don't mean health, I mean mental health. I think when guys are super fit, especially as they get older, Grant's a great example, man, it shows you where he's at in his head. Like, this guy's got it. I think that, there was somewhere else going to go with that. I think when you do a lot of give back to the community, I think you're also in a very good spirit, a very good mindset. I think real estate changed my life. That $10,000 check that I wrote to the real estate club in 2007 was the single best decision by a long shot that I ever did. It changed my life, my family tree. It changed the lives of my investors, especially those early ones from '07 that have seen their money just duplicate, just 4, 5, 7x since 2007. I think when you're in a really good mental state, it shows in multiple ways. You get back to your team, you show it in the gym, and you get back to the community.
I totally agree. And I think a lot about discipline from a perspective of, it's the promises that you make to yourself and keeping those. And we all struggle with it. There's times where I'm like, man, you get busy and there's something that you want to get done and you skip the gym, right?
And it's harder, Jeff, because as you get older, problems get bigger. But the thing is, you want problems because problems mean more money. You don't want problems. You don't want white space in your calendar. You want a full calendar of things because that's opportunity for you. And you do want the struggles. It doesn't matter how much we don't. The struggle is how you grow. You probably saw The Dance. You've seen other great shows. Michael Jordan has said it. I learned nothing from the wins. It's the losses that we remember. Well, you had to struggle to get to that loss. I know we struggled last year. We had some issues that we had, especially with, the taking back the portfolio, where everybody's here working to 9 o'clock every night because we had to keep moving forward to gobble up the portfolio back. But you reach a level in you that you didn't know was there. And I'm going to tell you, once you know it's there, you never go back. And I know Grant went through that in '08 himself because he told me. Once you dig down and you find this other level that you didn't know was there, it never leaves you. I'm a better operator today than what I was before my struggles because I had to dig deep.